Not enough people are making themselves steak sandwiches, but that ends today because I'm going to show you how to make an incredible steak sandwich in 15 minutes. I feel like the steak sandwich is just one of those dishes that people love to watch other people make on YouTube, but rarely actually try making themselves at home. And to that I say, enough with this blasphemy. So today I'm going to show you how to make an incredible steak sandwich. Honestly, it's just plain unfair to all other sandwiches. It has mushrooms and onions, an amazing garlicky smoky sauce, fresh crisp arugula, a cheese sauce that's so unctuous it'll make you uncontrollably dance the Irish jig, and of course, a beautiful piece of steak. So, without any further ado, let's get into this. Alright guys, before starting anything at all, take your steak out of your fridge 1 hour before it comes time to cook and salt it. This way, you give the salt plenty of time to penetrate the steak and get it nice and juicy, and you're letting the steak come up to room temperature, which means it'll cook more evenly. Now, let's get started with the onions and mushrooms. To start, remove the stems off some creminis, or any other mushrooms of your choice, and slice them up. Then place a pan over medium-high heat and throw in some butter and a neutral tasting oil. Next, toss in your shroomy poos and hit them with some salt. At this point, you can add some thinly sliced onions and cook everything down for about 5 to 10 minutes until nice and softened. But today, I'm going to be throwing in some of my frozen caramelized onions. In my breakfast sandwich video, I show you guys how to make perfect caramelized onions, which you can actually freeze for several months. If you want to take the time to make a batch now, I highly recommend it. Just click on the card above to see how. You'll get a much deeper and richer flavor this way. Finally, you can hit everything with a little drizzle of maple syrup or brown sugar, like I'm doing here, to also get a bit more sweetness. Alright, now let's make our lovely sauce. Add 2 tablespoons of mayo into a bowl. To this, add a little handful of chives, or what everyone else calls chives, and grate about half a clove of garlic on a microplane and throw that right in there. Then just season with some salt, some fresh cracked black pepper, and smoked paprika. The smokiness does something magical to this whole thing, so I very highly recommend it. And look, if you don't have some of these ingredients like maple syrup or smoked paprika, don't worry, I'll leave a link to all of these down below in the description. So just mix everyone up, and remember, always taste for seasoning. Next, let's quickly dress some arugula, or roquette if you're from the other side of the pond. Just throw some arugula in a bowl, add a nice drizzle of good quality olive oil, a nice fresh squeeze of lemon juice, and some salt. That's it, you're done. Just mix everyone up so they get to know each other. Alright, you sitting down? Because it's time to move on to the cheese sauce, which is called a Mornay sauce actually. Start off by adding 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of butter to a pan set over medium heat. Once melted, add 1.5 tablespoons or 12 grams of flour. And let this go for about a minute or 2 just to cook off that raw flour taste. It'll form a paste, which is known as a roux, and then to this, just add 1 cup of milk. It'll start off pretty liquidy, but just keep stirring and eventually it'll get thicker and thicker. Now, in the meantime, let's quickly grate some cheese. I'm grating 70 grams of a nice sharp cheddar, and I also decided to add 10 grams of Parmesan just to throw in some nutty complexity in there. And look at how much thicker the sauce has become now. See, I'd never lie to you. And at this point, well, it's time to go on with your ches. Just mix until everything is nice, melted, ooey, and most importantly, gooey. Then just add some white pepper to taste, or black pepper if that's all you got. And that's it. You've made a Mornay sauce. And now it's time for our beautiful steak. First, add some neutral tasting oil to a pan set over high heat, and let it get nice and hot. Then place down your steak. I'm going to be using a gorgeous piece of sirloin, but use whatever you like. and cook until it's your desired level of doneness. I'm cooking anywhere between medium rare and medium, which is about 3 to 4 minutes per side. And just look at what 3 minutes a stainless steel pan and high heat can do. I mean, just look at that crust. And here's a little lazy hack for you. Instead of putting a bunch of butter in the pan and basting your steak, you can actually just throw on a couple of knobs of butter straight onto your steak, and you'll get a result that's pretty close to what you'll get if you were basting your steak. Once it's finished cooking, you can set it on a wire rack set over a baking dish just to let it rest, and optionally just add all that fat right back onto the steak. Now just add some butter in the exact same pan in order to toast your bread. Once melted, add your bread. I'm using sourdough because obviously. And toast for a few minutes until nice and golden brown. And now, time for the assembly. Start by adding some of that awesome garlicky smoky sauce to both sides of the bread. Then go in with your arugula. And follow that up with slices of your perfectly cooked steak. Then optionally go in with a bit of extra salt. I'm using flaky sea salt because it's not easy being extra as fuck, but I'm up for the task. Next, just go to town with your cheese sauce. And add as much of your onion and mushroom mixture as your heart desires. Finally, just add your top piece of bread, and guys, oh baby. And so here is our beautiful steak sandwich. Oh my God, I can't wait to dig into this, guys. Yeah, that right there, oh my goodness. Cheers. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, all jokes aside, I think I just made my favorite sandwich of all time. This is amazing. Every single ingredient in that sandwich really plays well with the steak while making sure the steak is still the star. That salty little bite of steak is the first thing you get, but then you're really feeling that fresh, crisp bite of arugula, and then that tiny bit of sweetness from the caramelized onions and mushrooms with that maple syrup. Oh my God. I mean, salty, sweet, umami. Oh, and then the cheese sauce. Oh my God. Please do yourself the favor and make this. Wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna get the hell off camera and devour this in about 6 to 7 seconds. All right, thanks. Well guys, there you have it. A proper, amazing steak sandwich in 15 minutes. It should be illegal to pack that much flavor into something in just 15 minutes, but thank goodness it's not. And guys, remember, you can always tune just how lazy you want to be to best suit your preferences. You don't have to make a cheese sauce. You can just grate some cheese right on top. You can skip the mushrooms altogether, but always keep in mind that that will come at the cost of maximizing your flavors. All right? All right. So guys, as always, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.